Shalom. Before I begin this video, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that continue to rule very well. That's feeding the flock through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And Shalom to the hopefully elect that's continually laboring his work, that's giving our diligence in this work, this truth, this ministry, in our faith, true sincerity. Shalom. Now, the topic of this video is going to be entitled "The Whoredoms of the Well-Favored Harlot," in which that well-favored harlot is pertaining unto the vision that John the Revelator saw on the Isle of Patmos when he was exiled to that island. He saw the vision with this woman that was riding on the scarlet colored beast, which has 7 heads and 10 horns. Now that woman that's riding on that beast, in which the beast, if you go into the breakdown of the beast with the 7 heads and 10 horns, that represents this current time that we're in right now, which is in the form of NATO and the EU. All right, in which the woman that's riding on that beast, which represents NATO and the EU, is America. All right, that's the woman that's riding on the scarlet colored beast. That is the harlot, or the well-favored harlot, that is here on the planet Earth today. Because the reason why America is known as the well-favored harlot is because all these other different nations have had a long history of supporting America in his endeavors. You know, basically accepting the ways of living. You know, that's why America primes itself on being a first world country, and, you know, deeming other parts of the world as third world countries. You know, and these other nations have completely accepted the ways of America into their culture, and left off the ways of their own customs, and basically they've gotten into the customs of America, which America is one of the main hubs, for lack of a better term, for Esau, which is the true biblical nationality of the so-called white man. All right, which is so-called white man's progenitor goes back to Esau. Okay, he's a nation of Edom. But I'm here at my job, so Salaki, if I had to put the phone down from time to time, if I have to handle business every now and then, Salaki for the interruption, and bear with me. But yeah, this well-favored harlot, which is America, is looked after and is sought after. All right, because of the way of a harlot, is known by her looks. Because America is, basically it looks enticing, something to get into, because America promotes so-called freedom and, so-called liberty, and, this and that and the other, saying that they got this, they have this technology and, food and, different things like that, man. So all these other nations is looking after this harlot by her looks, not knowing that the ways of America is nothing but death, deceit, lies, abominations. And these other nations are waking up to that, man. All right, because you might see this harlot, for what she is on the outside, but when you actually get into this harlot, right, then you start to realize, what she's really about. The other nations see that, and they want to get rid of her, man. All right, especially, and now it's coming to a point in time where the EU, now in recent news, the EU is looking at America sideways, so to speak. The EU is really condemning the moves that America is making, especially this recent piece of news concerning Trump putting tariffs on steel against the European nations, and also Canada and Mexico. All right, and now the European nations want to strike back, man. All right, or they want to quote unquote retaliate. You know, basically condemning the moves that this guy Trump has made concerning the tariffs, right? The tariffs that he put on imported goods, which is steel. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the scriptures to break this down even further, because this city, which is known as Babylon the Great in the scriptures, in which I'm gonna bring out the precept that's gonna explain that, because this place, America, you know, this is why it's known as the so-called land of opportunity. You know, you can do whatever you want to do here. You know, you can worship whatever you want to worship, or you know, you can be whoever you want to be. You know, basically the vibration of do what thou wilt, which has been pushed out by a particular person that's higher up in the this secret society, which these people call the Illuminati, but you know, it's basically, you know, whatever you want to call it. It's basically it's a shadow government or a secret society that you never hear about, in which this guy Aleister Crowley was a high degree Mason. All right, and it was basically has delved into witchcraft, and he put out the statement, do what thou wilt. In other words, whatever you have in your mind to do, you know, go ahead and do it. You know, which that's nothing but wickedness, man. All right, and that's what is being perpetuated here on the soils of Babylon the Great, man. All right. Now, so this is the book of Nahum, the 3rd chapter, the 7th verse. It says, and it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall. Well, it's like I'm at the wrong verse. It's like it. We start at verse 4. It says, because of the multitude or the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts that sell the nations through whoredoms and families through witchcrafts. And that's true, because this place, which is once again known as Babylon the Great, has taken in all these different nations and nationalities and melded it and amalgamated it into this land that you see right now. All right. And I was like, I got to put the phone down for a second, handle business. Like you, bear me for a minute. All right, Slakia. Just to get back into the spirit, I'm going to read verse 4 again. It said, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that sell the nations through whoredoms, and families through witchcrafts. All right. It says, behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. All right. Now, the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, in other words, the things that you see here in America all has an origin. All right, all these different signs that you see, and all these establishments, these companies, you know, all these things use something that's particular or something specific that pertains unto whoredoms, which is the worship of these different idols and these different so-called gods. All right. That's why you see, when you see the different signs that are posted or labels that you see pertaining to the companies, you know, you see the symbol of the sun a lot, man, because, you know, it's prominent in this land that it has sun worship. All right. or should I say, sun worship is very prominent in this land. All right, which that goes all the way back to Babylon, man. The original Babylon that was set up back then during the ancient world. This is what all goes back to. This is why America is known as Babylon the Great, because even before the time of the Roman Empire, because the Roman Empire also had a collection of gods, which is known as a pantheon, right? The Babylonians also had a pantheon, man. You know, because that's where Esau get it from. See, even today, you know, America has that same spirit of having all these different gods and idols, which once again, you know, pertains to the Babylon. That's why this place is, once again, is known as Babylon the Great, and that's why this place contains the whoredoms of Babylon. All right, and it's also well favored because, like I said before, these other nations, you know, they look after America, but you know, the spirit now is leading these nations to come against America. All right, that's why if you read the book of Revelations, the 17th chapter goes further into that. But before I get that, you know, like the scriptures say right here, it says the mistress of witchcrafts that sell nations through whoredoms and families through witchcraft, because these other nations that left off their customs and accepted the customs of America. All right, now you're seeing these these so-called world leaders now wearing the three-piece suit, which we like to call monkey suits. You know, which is an attire of Esau, the so-called white man. All right, they're not wearing their ancient garbs anymore. The only ones that you see wearing the ancient garbs is Ishmael. All right, so-called Arabs. All right. That's why America has always had this long, ongoing faction, or not faction, but conflict between America and the so-called Arab nation. All right, why is that, man? Because the thing about America is that if you don't accept the lifestyle, or if you don't accept the America basically having a hand in what you're doing, or having a hand in your business, or you know, your affairs, then basically the thing that America resorts to is war, and it's always been like that, man. You know, that's why you had the Vietnam War, which that war was basically over opium. All right, to take the opium, which that was a resource that America wanted, and they just took it, man, by force. Just like how it was back during the Roman Empire. Hey, you know, it was taken by force, man. All right. Everything is done through warfare concerning Esau, man. Esau has always rationalized things using the sword. That's why when the Lord returns, he's going to rationalize his judgment with the sword, man. All right. And with war. Why is that, man? Because Esau came in the same manner. Like the scripture says, such does a man, as a man soweth, that shall he also reap. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and jump to the next precept. Go back. Revelation is the 17th chapter. And I'm gonna start at verse 5. It says, and upon her forehead was a name written. Actually, let me start at verse 4. It says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. All right, because those gold, precious stones, and pearls, right, which really represents the allure of America. All right, and also represents not only the allure of America, but also the goods that America has. You know, really, this place is known as a major place of trade. That's why if you go into do some research on it, you know, America is basically the #1 place to do trade. All right, that's why the scriptures speak about the merchants of the earth being made rich through the abundance of her delicacies. All right. Now, reading on, it says, and upon her forehead was a name written, mystery. Now, see, it's a mystery. Because people don't realize that this is Babylon the Great. All right, that's why it's